Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya. 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 Take a moment to center yourself. Eyes are gently closed. Pay attention to the breath. Let us chant Omkara thrice. We inhale, and as we exhale, we'll start the chanting of Omkara. Inhale. 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 Let us chant Asatoma Sadgamaya mantra. Join me in this prayer. Om Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly and gently, you may open the eyes. I'll teach you one more prayer. You can repeat after me. This for the prayer for the Guru Parampara. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Hari Om. Happy to have you all here today. The topic that we have chosen is intelligent and stress-free living in 2025. Every new year, whether it's a calendar new year, Gregorian new year, or our Hindu traditional new years, which is going to come are an occasion to look at life in a fresh perspective. However cliched it may seem, it's good to have some resolutions. Good to consciously infuse some new perspective, new energy into one's life to stay motivated, to stay positive, to have a good outlook about life. And what better way than to infuse your life with the fragrance of Vedantic wisdom, the wisdom of Advaita, explored in a particular context in today's session. You see, Vedanta, or Advaita Vedanta, brings in a very different dimension to one's life so that one can solve not only problems like stress, one can fundamentally solve all emotional problems, all the problems that one mentally faces with reference to life. So, Advaita Vedanta, the wisdom, frees a person, helps a person to be located in reality. In an ancient text, Upanishad, by the name Chandogya Upanishad, there was a rishi, a sage Uddalaka, and he had a son, Shvetaketu. The son Shvetaketu goes to Gurukulam to learn for 12 or more years, and he comes back home from this ancient university system. He comes home and his father asks him, "Hey, do you know now anything about reality? Do you know of that reality by knowing which everything else is as well known in life? Do you know of that highest perspective, highest wisdom through which you can understand the rest of the things in the world?" And the son Shvetaketu replies, "Maybe my guru did not know about it. That's why I didn't learn." Meaning, he has learnt everything else in his 12 years of formal education, but fundamental insight, fundamental wisdom that one needs in life was missing. Then later, the father teaches this wisdom to the son. This Shvetaketu episode shows us that in today's world, we know about everything. We seem to know about everything except some fundamental things about life, about fundamental truth of our being. We know everything else. Especially in a world which is filled with information, we seem to know so many things about random events, random countries, every nook and corner of the world, and we have never questioned, do I really need all this information? Do I have fundamentally what is required for life? Do I have that insight? If not, why am I simply engaged with tons of information which is all around? In fact, I was reading something, it said, in 2024, an average news app gives you more information about the world that was available to President Bill Clinton on his morning meeting at the Oval Office. The President of the United States gets briefed about all the important things in the world, different things, what is happening, but an average news app has more information today. 10 times, or there was some figure, more information was than what was available to Commander-in-Chief. do I really need all that information to live a sane life, to live a regular life? We have never questioned. In fact, at the onset, I would say one of the reasons for the stress in one's life is this tons of information that one is engaged with. One is engaged with. For what purpose, why this happened, we will explore further. But then, information and information all around. For what purpose? We never know. We have never questioned. So this session, this occasion, is to really question few fundamentals about our life so that we are free from stress and we live a intelligent life. So let our approach to life be not like that of Shvetaketu in his initial years. He learned everything about the world, about gods, about prayers, about rituals, all of it. One is an expert in all of it, yet lacks an answer for some fundamental questions of life. Who am I? What is the purpose of life? What is the reality of all that goes around in the world? Does it really make sense? We never raise these fundamental questions. In fact, it is said, Shvetaketu, this person, kind of formalized monogamous relationship in Hindu society. If you really look at the stories of Purana, there was a different system of having a husband having a few wives, or uniqueness in some of the cultures in Sanatana Dharma context also. A wife takes different brothers as her husband, all of it. It is said in Mahabharata context that Shvetaketu gave more formalized approach to monogamous relationship. Today one may wonder, oh my God, so difficult to handle one spouse. One spouse is cause of so much stress. How to deal with multiple. In fact, I saw this phenomenon again coming up. Ancient societies all around the world, if you observe, there was polygamy systems in marriages. But then, as the years progressed, all cultures sort of adopted monogamy as a major paradigm. Of course, Islam is an exception, and few other religious cults are an exceptions. But then monogamy became a major paradigm. But then at my time at Harvard, when I was interacting with multiple youngsters, I came to know that they're all now again engaged in open relationship with multiple partners, multiple romantic partners, etc. I always think, my God, one spouse, people keep coming to Swamiji and saying, Swamiji, we are stressed, we have so many problems. How are these people handling multiple people? There must be some more strength in this generation, I suppose. We have to see how time unfolds all of it. You see, when our focus comes to essentials of life, that becomes an intelligent way to live. An intelligent way to live. And when one lives intelligently, stress is not a factor which is so much going to be there in one's life. Let us explore a bit about the world that we live in. How it is structured, because life is so fast, we really do not seem to have a full idea about the world that we are living in. There seems to be a rat race. One is constantly moving from one task to another. There is not a pause, there is not a gap to reflect and observe the life that is there. Somehow in the modern day, we have become our own taskmasters, always pushing ourselves to do more. One thing after another. Nothing is enough. Not in other person's eye, in my own eyes. Forget parents pushing children to do more. An average person is being extremely critical of oneself and pushing oneself to do more and more, like a taskmaster. It's as if we have structured a mental life where we are our own cruel masters, whipping ourselves for the tasks which were not done, which were not performed. Everyone seems to be having this approach to life where self-optimization is a mantra constantly going on in one's mind. How can I constantly optimize myself to do more, to do more, to do more? One thing after another, one thing after another. But we have never, in spite of all that optimization, who has time in hand? Nobody seems to have any more time, free time in hand. All this optimization is to have some more time in hand to pay attention to essentials of life, but nobody seems to have any time. Smallest of tasks of life kept on being automated in modern life. People used to wash clothes in hand. A machine came in its place. People used to wash dishes. A particular machine, dishwasher, came in place. People used to sweep, vacuum, mop the floor. There is a device available for that. People used to go on horseback or drive from place to place. Now even that is being automated, even in terms of cars. But yet, have we made more time available in current life? If not, what use of all this automation and more focus on automation? At the end of it, a person has not even got an extra minute to look at the sun, to look at the moon, to appreciate a flower which is sometimes around, to appreciate life, to have a moment, to have some gap between two sessions, two tasks, two thoughts. Nothing. Such a life has created a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, because always you are now stressed about the next task in hand. One is completed, yet you have few more on your list. So, unfortunately, a human being exploited the external world for a long time, taking in a lot of resources, exploiting the nature one after another, one aspect after another. Then humans made humans itself as human resources and started exploiting people. This is not just a modern story, it's an ancient story as well. And now, unfortunately, a person individually is exploiting oneself. Very cruelly, one is exploiting oneself. And not only that, we seem to be in self-destruction mode now. Self-destruction mode. Not only we are exploiting, in and through all our tasks, we're always losing a part of us. Losing part of us. This is sort of self-destruction. We have these Puranic stories, but we have never paid attention to the symbolic meaning in it. There was this Asura, his name was Bhasmasura. Why? Because he had a boon. Wherever, on whatever he puts his palm, that will turn into Bhasma. Bhasma means ashes. So finally, he wanted to put his hand on Lord Shiva. And then, in the context of the story, he he's made to dance, and then he's enchanted by this dancer who makes him put his hand on himself, on his own head. Finally, this fellow who wanted to destroy Lord Shiva, the creator himself, the Lord, and this fellow puts his hand on himself and destroys the whole system. We seem to be in this mode, exploiting nature, exploiting fellow humans, and finally exploiting oneself. Finally want to destroy everything that makes us human. All that makes us human, the whole society is as if committed to destroy it. Everything that makes us human. Love, no. Don't want that to be there. That to be there. Take out that. Time, take off that. Food, take off that. Replace it with something. It's not, we can't even call it food. It's just replaced by something. So, in such a society, if we keep on living with the same norms, what is created is nothing but stress. What gets created is nothing but stress. Now, if you really try to understand what is stress, what is the origin of it, where is it coming from? Is it something natural to me, or is something alien? If you really ask that question to yourself, stress seems to be a sort of a natural response of the body. Sometimes it could be very biological. In its nascent sense, it could be quite beneficial to your life when it is there in right quantity. Stress seems to be a natural human response in order to make a task happen, to meet a deadline. There is a task in hand that you must perform, and that ideally it has to be performed in a time frame. Biologically, there is a system which gets activated probably to produce a small amount of biological stress. A certain hormones are produced in body which will enable you to complete that task. That's good. That's good. In a natural order of life, there is a task in hand which has to be performed. Stress system gets activated, and you perform that task. Having performed that task, the stress mechanism gets switched off, and you live life. You eat, you watch television, you watch whatever you want to do, and you go on. This is the natural order. But a 2024 life doesn't end with one deadline, doesn't end with one task. Everybody seems to have endless tasks. So this mechanism, which is there to serve a purpose, seems to be activated 24/7. That is the stress that we are going to address it today. That is the one which we have to be free from. This stress has become excessive. This stress has become excessive in one's life. Excessive in one's life. Because the goals of human life is just not simple anymore. Mind has become super complex. Food, clothing, shelter, savings, some entertainment, that's just not enough. You have to run a marathon. You have to go for some treks. You have to have this. You have to have that. In fact, I think stress seems to be more in the Indian diaspora here in the US, or Indian origin people. Why? Because they are not living one life, they seem to be living dual life. 1 foot here and 1 foot in India. So not only you want to do Rocky Mountains, you want to climb up Mount Kailash too. So not only a New Jersey home is enough, you need a Florida home, and not that is just not enough. You need an apartment in Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, wherever you, Ahmedabad, wherever you come from. So not only Tirtham is enough, you need cocktails too. Not only one aspect is enough, you always want something else. Not a South African travel is not enough. You have to finish it with a visit to Kashi or Ayodhya, whatever is on your list. Constant stress. Son or daughter learning piano is not enough, then you have to put them for Carnatic music as well. Everything seems to be constantly running in the mind. So this stress mechanism, which is natural, which is like a light switch, there is on and an off mode. This is not getting switched off at all. That's why people are walking from task to task as if they are machines, as if they are zombies programmed, moving from one thing to another constantly. We seem to have forgotten the art to relax, art of relaxation. That is looked down upon in society today. Ability to just be, ability to relax. That's why any young person comes to ashram, other people will say, at least in Hinduism context, that, oh, this is not the age, why are you going now? In fact, 50-year-old come to ashram, they'll say, why are you going to ashram so early? What is the need? What is the need? So, wisdom, it's as if concluding that relaxing, being at peace, learning the art of relaxation is not for a young person. A person has to be restless, has to be a walking zombie from task to task. Only then that is considered as successful or intelligent living. Spirituality is challenging this paradigm. Spirituality is looking at life in a very deep manner. If we don't look at it, if we don't handle it, we will always be moving from one task to another, 1 year to another. There will be nothing left in one's life. There will be nothing left in one's life. So, religion, spirituality, all of it is there for us to relax, rejuvenate, focus our attention on something higher. Instead, we have made use of religion, God, as a tool to be more optimizing our own life. More optimizing our own life. Instead of using God, prayers, in order to find some solace, now I want God as a partner to accomplish something more. More and more and more, more and more. This has created a lot of stress in a person. What is the other reason, probably very basic fundamental reason, why we have so much stress in today's world? Is because a person constantly wants to control not only one's life, an entire world. Wants to control the entire world. If you see, some basics have to be controlled, at least try to control, in order to make life into a functioning process. As we sit here, we have controlled the light. We have some control over temperature. We try to introduce some heat into the system, but yet the outer temperature today is very cold. So you are all dhiraha today, very brave people, come here driving an hour or more. In fact, our Kiran, few more hours, all the way here to come and have some insight. But ask this question to yourself. To what extent can you control your life? To what extent can we control the outer world? what extent? Definitely to some extent, we can have some control over our lives. But ask this question, can we fundamentally control our life? Can we fundamentally control every aspect of our life? Can we control our future? Stress comes forth and dances in our mind and hearts because you have this a delusional conclusion that I can totally control my life. I can totally control my life and I can totally control the outer. I can totally control the outer. In fact, an atheist standpoint may be a different approach to this controlling the whole world through the realm of technology or science or whatsoever, if that person is thinking in that line. The religious person, in fact, sometimes is more in terms of trying to control, because not only through self-efforts and one's actions, one is trying to control one's life and the outer world. Now this extremely religious person too seem to think that I have one more tool available to me than an average person. What is the tool? The God, the prayer and the religion, all of it. Now I will use all of it to assert more power and control over my external environment. When something looks like it is shaky, nothing. I will use astrologer to make this happen. Nothing to worry. I will use Vastu to make it happen. Nothing to worry. I will use this homam to make it happen. Nothing to worry. I'll use this pilgrimage to make it happen. So, in and through religious practice, one is not becoming humble, one is becoming more egoistic and a sort of a power-hungry person who thinks that I can have full control over life. I can control not only my life, the four people, father, kids or spouse, whoever is attached to me, whoever is in a context, I can have a control over all of it, over everything. This obsession to control everything is producing a lot of stress, An intelligent life is to recognize what you can control, what you cannot. To recognize what you cannot control, intelligent living is to let go of it, because you just cannot control it. Then how do you know what you can control, what you cannot control? Deeply examine life. Deeply examine life. Just as a person conscious of health goes to the Whole Foods and looks at every ingredient, be very, very conscious about life. Examine it. See what you can control, what you cannot. And when you see what you can control, is very less compared to what you cannot control. No need to be stressed about it. No need to be stressed about it. Recently, I was in some city. I was constantly traveling. I don't even forget which state and which city was that. So my host had to drop me from place A to place B. So for some reason, we could not leave his place the time that was stipulated initially, that was agreed upon. There was a delay for various reasons. We could not. And he was concerned about the traffic from the moment we sat inside the car till we reached the end point. He kept 3-4 things. He kept on constantly apologizing to me for the traffic. What can I do? What can he do about the traffic? It's just there. About the situation which caused the delay. It's okay. We were still had time to go about the tasks in the place B. But what is there to be so stressful about something that we cannot control, which we cannot have a say about it? Compare the same situation to your life. What is the whole point of being stressed and trying to control something over which you have no control, absolutely no control over? What was there in your hand? To leave the home before the morning traffic. Well, only that aspect was in your hand. That could not be achieved. So what? Life goes on. Can you halt and stop life for that matter? No. Life has to go on. You sit in the car, you start to drive. So this cribbing, non-acceptance of the flow of life creates a lot of stress in a person. You're refusing to accept the flow of life. The flow of life. The Upanishadic seers thought a lot about this and gave us insights to fundamentally inquire about life. In fact, even Chinese philosophers have thought about it. The famous teacher Lao Tse, in his book Tao Te Ching, suggests a method for a stress-free life. What is that? To flow with the life's flow. To be in harmony with life. To be with harmony with life. We are totally missing that point. We refuse to be in harmony with the nature outside. There is sunset, there is darkness, it's 9 p.m., time to end your day. But no, we refuse to do so. We refuse to do so. Every weather, every season brings in certain vegetables, fruits, etc. We refuse to be harmony with nature. No, I want apples 365 days of my life. I want oranges which come in summer, but yet I want the juice available to me 365 days. Harmony, no harmony with external world. No harmony with external world. I need time, but I refuse to take it. You know, when you don't take time for yourself, one day will come where you will be forced to take time for yourself. We don't want that to happen. Agency is good, to have some agency with reference to you, to have some freeness is a good position to be at. So the more you try to assert your control over the external world, the more stressed you become. Observe the natural flow of life. Try to be in harmony with it. If stress-free life is your priority, if that is not the priority, you may also flow with the flow of life. What is that flow? The rat race. The rat race. So one wants to question life. What am I fundamentally seeking? What am I fundamentally wanting? So when you ask that question, you'll have answer for what becomes your priority. What is my priority? And you'll align your lifestyle to suit your priorities. So one insight that we can take from Upanishads, from Bhagavad Gita, to know that I do not have total control over my life, nor how it's going to unfold in future, and how the external world is going to be. That's why Upanishads said, may you pay attention to the higher, to Ishvara. There is a force above me. Through that force, through that higher power, everything seems to be operating in the world. I do not call all shots. In recognition of this higher power, you may call it Ishvara, you may call it Bhagavan, you may call it higher power, whatever is vocabulary, but in recognition of this higher order, you understand that you do not have full control over the life as it manifests here, nor in the outer world. Immediately, you are stress-free. Because now you understand I cannot control. Things will go wrong in spite of me, beyond me. Things may go wrong, things may go right. Anything is a possibility. I cannot keep wanting to have one picture of life. This is how it has to unfold. This is how it has to unfold. If not, I'm not going to accept at all. So, in order to have a stress-free, simple life, this acceptance becomes a fundamental mantra. Do not keep on controlling the kids, controlling the spouse. Just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. So there was a king in an ancient time. He went for an evening walk in his kingdom one day, and when he came back, he recognized that there is so much dust in this entire kingdom, and all in his feet was muddy, very dusty. So he called his ministers, "Hey, come here. The whole kingdom has become very dusty." So the minister said, "Maharaja, O king, no problem. I'm going to employ 1,000 sweepers to sweep the entire kingdom, or whatever, the capital city." So he employed 1,000 sweepers, and the next evening the king goes for a walk. There was just dust and dust all around, more dust. The king said, "What is this? There's more dust now because of 1,000 sweepers trying to sweep." So another minister said, "I have a solution, king, don't worry." So the second minister employed elephants to bring water and wash the entire capital city. That evening, the king goes for a walk. The whole city is now filled with water, and it's all messy, it's all muddy. The king comes and says, "I thought you're all wise ministers. What has happened? Look at my feet. It's all muddy. It was dusty, now it's all muddy." And then another minister said, "I have solution, O king, don't worry." Then the king goes for the third day walk, and he sees that entire kingdom pathways are carpeted. There's red carpet for the king to walk around. Few days passed, the entire kingdom was again dusty. Again there was dust all around. Now king called, "What is this? None of you are solving anything." So one person said, "O king, I have the solution for the problem that you are encountering during your evening walk. Please allow me to take measurement of your feet." And then he took a day's time, and he came back with a set of footwear. And he said, "O king, please wear these chappals and go for your evening walk. Then come back and observe how your feet look and feels." He went for a walk and came back. To his surprise, there was no dust on his feet. That was the first invention of the footwear. So you cannot carpet the whole world, but you can wear your footwear and walk around. So this fundamental truth has to be realized. How much ever you try, you cannot carpet the whole world. So wise thing to do is to wear your footwear. Wise thing to do in order to live an intelligent and a stress-free life is to have this realization that I cannot control it all. I can control a few things. I will try. I will try. Change what you can, accept what you cannot. Pujya Swamiji always used to teach the serenity prayer. I think it's coming from Alcoholics Anonymous or something. God, give me the strength to change the things that I can. Oh God, give me the strength or courage to change the things I can. O God, give me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change. That I cannot change. O God, give me the wisdom to know the difference between what I can change, what I cannot change. So somebody else said recently, oh God, give me coffee to change the things I can. God, give me the wine to accept the things that I cannot. No, you don't want to be in that paradigm. The first prayer is better, is the best. So this is very important in our life to contextualize this. What I can change, what I cannot. So this kind of an approach to life brings in a lot of peace and serenity in one's life. They are the ingredients that we need. They are the ingredients that we need. But then, unfortunately, a lot of people ask me this question. Swamiji, I want to be always doing 100 million tasks. Can you tell some things about Vedanta so that I can optimize that life? This overemphasis of to-do things, to-do list, you may want to look at it again. Life is not just a bundle of tasks. Look at life beyond this approach. Look at life beyond this approach. In fact, ancient Hindu society also used to look at life in this approach. Life is but bundle of rituals. One ritual after another. One homa after another. That's the only way to live. That's the only way to go. And a modern world is no different. It thinks that the only way to live is to be doing one task after another. One task after another. You're not a machine. Machines were invented for that purpose. To live like that. Day one, it is doing something. End of its expiry date for that machine, it's continuing to do things mechanically in that fashion. So please look at life in more fundamental way. Everyone is only focused on lifestyle. Bring your focus to life in order to live a happy, peaceful and comfortable life. Swamiji, what is that? Lifestyle is all that you do. Yes, there is a place for it. Life is breath, sleep, food. Life is sun, life is moon, life is love. Are you having enough time, attention for all of it? Do you have time and attention for all of it? Recently, one of our seekers was sharing this experience, I think his or her own experience, life experience, one's own life experience. It's a real story with me. So this person was saying, this person was having what is imagined to be a perfect life, a great career, a good house, and this and that. All that configuration is in place. Doing extremely well in terms of career and job. So once the father came to visit this person, and this person is in the peak of career and everything. The father just made this observation, not even as a advice, not even as a sermon, not as a preaching, nothing. He just pointed out, you have everything in your life now, I'm very happy. Unfortunately, you don't even have time to eat. You don't even have time to eat. So where are we heading? Is this the life picture that looks ideal in our life? That looks ideal into our life. Where the basics of life are totally ignored and one is headed somewhere. One is headed somewhere. So a stress-free life comes when you contextualize your life, when you deeply examine your life, accept that you cannot control, and look at your life beyond the tasks. Look at life beyond the tasks. Another area of stress today that, the Upanishads discuss taking oneself to be the body. Body is taken as the self. Annamaya Atma, there is a technical word for it. What is that? Taking the body to be oneself. In fact, I was deeply examining how life is working today. Probably, one is not, of course, it all stems from this body identification, but then there is a unique phenomenon in place now. What is that? I have coined it as numerical self. One takes oneself to be numbers. One takes oneself to be numbers. The whole mind, the whole self-perception is through numbers. The day starts with numbers. 4th, the date is 4, the month is 1, the year is 2024. Then you bring in the factor of time. It's whatever. Are we in the right time? Okay. 10:44 at the moment. Then, not only these numbers, everyone has the smartwatch. Look at all the numbers over there. How many hours of sleep you had. How many steps that you have walked so far. How many calories that you have consumed so far. How many unattended text messages that you have. How many unattended emails that you have. How many tasks that you have. Then these apps are endless. I was observing the other day, okay, weather, number. Then the smartwatch also seems to have, what was that? The stock market. What is the position of the stocks today? Number. In fact, if you open the bank account, bank balance, number. Everything, one is looking at the whole world in terms of numbers. At oneself in terms of numbers. Height, weight, BMI. This, that. Everything in numbers. And somehow everybody seems to have a certain number for everything. In every category there's an ideal number. Who set it? Who set it? In fact, if you go deeper and deeper into these bands, they no more are the smart bands or the smart watches. In fact, they are what do you call? The shackles. They become your shackles. Because they bound you, they keep you bound to numbers all the time. They keep you bound to numbers all the time. Creates more and more stress. In fact, first point, I have seen few people, I didn't get enough sleep, already stressed as soon as you wake up. It shows them how many breaths that you have taken. Oh my God. Again stress, I didn't take enough breaths. Heart is beating faster. Oh my God. Heart is not beating enough. I did not get enough likes on my Facebook post. I do not have enough friends on the Instagram. Numbers. Look at everything is numbers. That's the way to kill the world. Billions of dollars are seated there to kill life and replace life with lifestyle. Do not come under their sway. Do not come under their sway. The more numerical you are, the more stressed you will be. If you want to be free from stress, come out of the numerical self that you are holding on to. You are a person. You're a living, breathing entity. You're a human being. You're not a human doing. Learn to be also. Learn to be. Pay attention to love, life, food, heart. Not in a numerical way, in a more fundamental way. To sleep, not in a numerical way, in a more fundamental way. The way to come out of stress is to transcend the numerical self. So the Upanishad says, one who transcends the body gains the self. Now I have to add one more category. 2024 teachings also have to expand. We can't be frozen, right? Transcend the numerical self. 2025. Transcend transcend the numerical self. So one has to let go. This is a big stress point in the modern life. You have to let go of looking at life through numbers. Through numbers. Let go of it. Let go of it. Let go. Be very conscious about it. In fact, when I was in Rishikesh ashram and all the time people look at Vedanta also through numbers. Swamiji, I have studied Bhagavad Gita 3 times. Arey, what is this? What is this? What is that to keep a count of it? I know I have memorized 343 shlokas. Is there something? Who introduced numbers into all of this? I have done 1008 japa today. Do you chant God or do you count numbers? What is happening there? Just somebody is counting calories, you are counting japa. No big difference between both of you. Because in a person who is extremely conscious about calories, he doesn't see avocado, he sees calories there. He doesn't see a dessert. Richa prepares very nice desserts. So it's not in, that person is not looking at chocolate mousse, that person is looking at 683 calories there. Whole world if you see only in terms of calories. So this person who is a numerical self doesn't see the world. He sees only numbers. This person only sees numbers. He sees a house, 40,000. Sees a car, 23. Sees a person. He meets a person in the context. He says, I work for Google. Oh, okay. 500,000. Whatever is number, I don't know that. And our Desi diaspora, what is the average socialization? Only to flex the numbers all the time. So one of the families told me recently, Swamiji, we have stopped attending all the Sunday gatherings because they are just, it is who flexes more. My daughter went to Harvard. My son is in Brown. My daughter works for Google. My daughter works for SpaceX. My daughter works here. Only this fellow is making this one. We bought this house there. This is the number. I invested in this. This is the number. This is the number. This is the number. If you want to be stress-free in life, come out of this rat race of numbers, numerical self. You look at your life and you decide the numbers. Don't let society decide numbers for you. What is this? What is this? Are you a rat? Don't let the society to decide numbers for you. You look at your life, approach holistically. You have individual goals. You see what you want out of your life and try for it. Not try to control it, try for it. Nothing wrong with that approach. Try for it. So, I would say at in conclusion of this first session today, let go of the numerical self. That's what the Upanishads say. Look beyond the body. Look beyond the body. Don't be stuck here all the time. There are beautiful things all around you. Put your focus on something just other than this body. Do not be obsessed about mind. You are not just bundle of thoughts. You are something more. You are something beyond that. And what is that? What is that you? You are a conscious being. You are conscious being. Fundamentally, you are but consciousness. You are but consciousness. You exist. You are. You are conscious of that existence. Everything is secondary. When you are located in your fundamental self, your true nature, there is absolutely no stress. When you get located in future or in numbers or tasks, stress starts as a natural mechanism, but you become obsessed with it. Stress hijacks your system. It penetrates into every cell of your brain, heart, every cell of your body. You don't want such a life. You don't want such a life. Be located in consciousness. Just keep on having this exercise. Bring in that perspective in your life. What am I? Fundamentally, I'm a living entity. I'm a conscious entity. I am present, and I'm conscious of that presence. I am. Try to appreciate this fact that you are. Everything else in life keeps coming and going, keeps going up and down. But then, this is fundamentally there. This is fundamentally there. Become aware of it. That's how you move beyond the stress. I'll conclude by saying that what is a biological stress which helps you accomplish a task? That is one part. We saw that element. Life has created stress, artificially has also manufactured stress. In the what form? In what form? In the form of FOMO, fear of missing out. I will lose something if I don't do this. I have lost something if I don't have six-pack abs. I lose something if I have not done this trail. I've lost something if I have not gone to that concert. I have lost something if I am not in that social group. If I have lost something if I don't see that movie. I've lost something if I also don't have the same plan as my friends to retire at 35. I've lost something if I don't eat this. I've lost something if I don't go there. How many things can we do? How many places can we be? So let go of this artificial stress which is being manufactured, and the same industry which manufactures it gives you the pill to handle it also. Gives you the pill to handle it also. They never want to cure anything. They never allow you to come out of this toxic cycle. They never allow you to come out of this toxic cycle. They find their pleasure in terms of monetary benefits in you being stressed out, in you consuming pill, you consuming more entertainment, being in that toxic cycle. They thrive in that. That is their comfort zone. Like a toxic boyfriend. Don't want to be in that realm. Don't give that power. Don't give that power over your life to some people sitting somewhere. Unknown entities. Don't give that. Free yourself in all these levels, from all these levels. Simplify life and look at it from the way you want. The world never wants you to be cured. Spirituality wants you to be cured here and now in this very session. Because for an outer world, I'll just take for the sake of this joke, some doctors are sitting, not to poke there, but the system is being built as if it's like a patient cured is a customer lost. But ashrams are not built by saying a devotee enlightened is a ashramite lost. No, it's not that. The very mechanism is there to free you, not to keep on putting you in the loop. I would be happy if you say, Swamiji, today's teaching was enough. And if I meet you after a year or so and ask you, hey, I didn't see you in the ashram. And if you say, Swamiji, that session of yours has freed me, that's why I'm not coming to ashram. I'll say, wow, wonderful, congratulations. Please come, we'll have dinner once. That's it. That is spirituality. That is Vedanta. Fundamentally focused to free you not to again put you into some religious loop or some other loop, to free you, to make you fundamentally observe your life and free you. Only the reality frees you. Vedanta locates you in that reality. What is that core of you? What is that fundamental reality of your life? That you are, and you are aware of your existence. Sat, Chit. Sat and Chit. And if you explore further, if you further explore this, you find that this Sat and Chit is also limitless peace, limitless ananda, happiness. It's not in the outer, all of it is you. Not even the language sometimes becomes a barrier. If I say in you, not even in you, it's you. You are. You are existence, consciousness, and you are that ananda also. That's the teaching of Vedanta. That's a way to free yourself from stress and live intelligently. So we'll continue the session after a small break. We can have a small Q&A here. So I conclude the first lecture here. Om Tat Sat. We'll have a few minutes of Q&A, and then we can take a short break and come back. Any questions? Any of your anything you want to express, share, give your perspective? You're welcome to do so.
Swamiji, thank you so much for the enlightenment for us. Because you mentioned tasks, back-to-back tasks, but actually multitasking. Mm-hmm. Most of us do the multitasking. So first we have to stop multitasking, then think of go task by task. Because in like 10 years of coming to this ashramam and volunteering here, animal shelter and Sringeri, I got observing myself, like thoughts in me, how the different thoughts are coming, where to pause, where to prioritize, kind of balancing that my time, improving a bit by coming to the ashram and doing the work. But because seeing the world in a different perspective, like best example is the wearing the chappals is a very good example. So I think that will help me a lot improving. Thank you so much.
Life is very spontaneous. We cannot say this is how I'm going to do. In some situations, you may have to multitask. In some situations, you may have to prioritize. But the focus that I was trying to bring in the first lecture was to note that is it the way to go about one task after another, doing multiple things at the same time? Is that going to be your approach to life? And if you see that a lot of stress is a result of that kind of a life. So prioritize and see what are essentials in your life. Then automatically a few things drop down. Then you contextualize, and life is but series of actions too. There is always something to do. But look at yourself beyond that. Look at life beyond that paradigm. Because this paradigm causes a lot of stress. So if you are aiming at stress-free life, you may definitely want to look at life beyond karma. Make it karma yoga. That is what is the method suggested in Sanatana Dharma.
Yeah, you made an interesting distinction between life and lifestyle. I'm struggling with this life beyond karma.
Can you please hold the mic closer?
I'm struggling with life beyond your karma. But what does it entail to have what does it take to have a peaceful life beyond being a numerical person or a task-driven person? What is it? What is that life?
You see, look at this, look at what I'm going to say, and see if there is resistance in the mind. Be observant of it. I'm saying this to become more aware, to try a new approach. Now, instead of asking, how does it look, try to free yourself from the numerical life, numerical self. Then you will see what it looks like. Free yourself from that monotonous, mechanical, numerical way of thinking, living, being. Now then what is that life just comes forth when you take off being operating like a numerical self, like a machine. That becomes very evident to you. Try that.
So if I'm not numerical and I'm not task driven, and I've freed myself some time in the day to not be a robotic, individual, what am I supposed to do to discover that life?
One thing is, we have become so uncomfortable with the pauses, with free time, to an extent where we ask a question, what am I going to do in that free time? Because if you fundamentally see, this orientation is still there. What am I going to do in that free time? You see? That doing orientation has not changed. Still, I'm again operating, how do I optimize that free time? Isn't it so? Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Good. Okay. How do you disagree?
What I was referring to is not doing something mechanical, but finding that life, not lifestyle, but finding that life. When I say do, what do I do with that time to find that life? It doesn't mean that I'm physically doing something. It could be meditating, it could be whatever, reading something.
Still there is doing.
So,
are you observing that there is a doing orientation there?
Okay, so that's why I'm asking, what is it that one needs to...
Sure.
How does one expend that time, let's say?
Okay, again doing orientation. How do I optimize that time? What do I do in it? What do I do in order to fill that? Okay, so become aware of this orientation. That there is always an orientation to constantly do. Are we machines? Am I a machine to be programmed to such an extent I cannot see my life beyond doing something? Beyond doing something. That is one thing. So now stay with me in this exploration. You can always add or you can always ask a counter question or anything. First, free up that time, that free up. Free up some gap in life that is so required. That is so required. That gap is so required. That's why in the natural order, we have a downtime to the system. We need each and every body needs a few hours of sleep. Few hours of sleep. That becomes like you are not aware of the external environment. You are not aware of your whole system. The system shut down. But we also do need a downtime in the day. In the day. So free up some time. First task is to look beyond tasks and free up some time. And see that, don't ask me what should I do in that free time. First, make that time available. Make that time available. Now what naturally happens is, we do not know what to do in that free time. What to do in that free time. What to do in that free time. So initially, the spirituality gives you some practices in order to fill that time. Because one orientation is, an idle mind is devil's workshop. So you free up some time, you cannot handle it, you go back to past, thinking about the past. Oh, this happened, that happened, this should not have happened, that should not have happened. Or you go into the future mode. Oh, what am I doing? I'm wasting time. Let me do this instead of just being idle, let me do this, that. So you move into the future. In the initial stages, you may replace it with a spiritual practice of meditating or listening to a wisdom talk, listening to a lecture of Vedanta, reading some aspects of Bhagavad Gita, fine. But then the ideal situation is to become comfortable with the pause, become comfortable with silence, be comfortable with not doing anything in particular, restfulness also. The question is stemming in, and it's not your question or such, it may be so many people's question, that we do not know how to handle a gap, a pause, a free time. So the doing orientation also permeates into that free time. Just see what happens. What happens in that once you free yourself from tasks, from mechanical thinking, from dreams, aspirations, to-do list, to achieve list, all of it. One has not even experienced that moment. So the suggestion is free up, let's see how it looks. And if you look at any, what we may consider somebody as a role model in terms of wisdom, you see that great things have come forth through that silence, through that pause, through that gap. You see, that's where the greatest insights of life emerge forth. That's where we clear up our entanglements. That's where we discover creativity. Creativity springs forth from that place. Everything essential for life springs forth from there. So try this method, try this approach, and see what happens. Rather than fixing what should happen ideally for you, first open up that possibility. Let's open up the possibility. Sometimes when you look at, mind is resistant to open up that possibility even. Are you with me? Do you have anything to ask or question in this?
So, for me personally, I don't know how true this is of everybody. I have been doing exactly that for about a dozen years now. I am not ashamed of being idle. I will meditate or not even just breathe or stare at nature, whatever. What it does for me is it gives me a sense of rest, like you have after a good sleep, and a sense of peace. Until I get onto my, after that time, get onto my next tasks. I have not progressed which is why I was asking, how do you define life versus life? What is it that I am not, what am I missing? It has not resulted in creativity or any of those things. It's just that I feel rested and at peace. Am I in a loop?
Now, nothing wrong in feeling rested, feeling at peace, very essential element. Now, the problem to be addressed is that why this orientation, why this newfound peace and restfulness is going away in between the tasks, or while doing the task, or while moving from one task to another. Is that your question?
My question was that I am in a loop of finding peace and restfulness in those idle moments that I take for myself.
Okay.
But I have not progressed, if there's any progress to be had, progress, I'm putting it in quotes, to something more as far as life is concerned, not lifestyle, as far as life is concerned.
Ideal place to start inquiry, ideal place to be in, ideal place to look into Upanishads, ideal place to see what am I? What am I? What am I looking for? Who is looking for something? Who is looking for the next thing, next phase, next piece? Deeply inquire into it. That's where the Upanishads come into being. take up Upanishad. We have Pujya Swamiji's commentaries of Upanishads at our bookstore. Audios are available to purchase and even on our YouTube channel. Start the self-inquiry in this formal method. So that gives you a lot of clarity when it comes to knowing oneself. Did I answer you? Was that in?
Deeply grateful for that. Thank you.
Oh, there's a question there.
Thank you, Swamiji. I always used to think I should wake up at 4:30 Brahma Muhurtam, but I didn't know what to do when I wake up at that time, that early, because I will have 2 to 3 hours if I wake up at 4:30. And I don't want to see any screen like my phone or laptop. But when you answered this time, like that, my doubt got clarified, that doing nothing and taking pause is also pause.
Very essential.
So, but that much of time taking pause and doing nothing, or like, so still that is my doubt.
Are you saying that you are already having that pause in the morning time?
No.
You are not having?
No, but that much of time doing nothing, like even if I have to cook, it doesn't take that much. I don't want to cook that early in the morning also.
I did not get your question. Are you waking up at 4 and...
No, I'm not waking up, but I didn't know what to do if I wake up.
Hypothetical question, okay. Try. The answer is try. Rather than hypothetically entertaining that lifestyle or possibility, give it a try. Then we will see. And I'm always there to clarify after you have tried, given it a try for a few days or a month or so. Yes, that's how it should go. All right. Last question for this session. We'll take a break and come back.
I think I get what the lady was going for, and I get your answer, Swamiji, as well, that we have to come to that stage of nothingness, where there is endless possibilities within the nothingness. Just as in the atom there is the entire universe, in the present moment there is everything. But it's hard to take that pause and realize the present moment. So what are the stepping stones to getting to that state? And what I have read and what I'm slowly trying to practice, one thing is to examine the desires. Because to your point earlier is, we take the pause, maybe we experience a good pause, but then we have to get back to life, because as you said, Swamiji, life is a series of karmas. We have to do our action. So we get back into that cycle, and that experience of pause is then lost. Then we have to again make an effort to come back to that pause. After that, I have to cook this, I have to go there, I have to take my grandchildren here and there. And for working people, it's a much longer list. So two things that I have come to experience, and if you could please validate that, Swamiji, is one thing is to cut down unnecessary desires. And then I think about what is a state of life that is completely without any desire. That is very difficult to achieve for us normal human beings. So then the answer is, I think, in the Gita, that if you have to do the karmas, dedicate all that karmas that you are doing to God. Offer all the karmas to them, right? Whoever is your God. And then see what that experience looks like. So I think we are all struggling, it seems like, with the stepping stone or the set of tasks, and then we all try to imagine what that state looks like. Right? So if we taste the candy, then we will want it more. But without having the taste of it, we are simply running for something that is only found in books as a description. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yes, I would like to bring a couple of focuses into your what you said. We are not aiming for nothingness. I said, you, the presence, existence, sat, and a conscious presence. So it's not nothingness, but a very deep presence. A presence which is very effulgent, which is you, which is awareness. That is one part. And the other part is, now the focus is not in not doing anything. The focus is looking beyond the numerical self and in a paradigm of one task to another. So create that gap, and downtime, as I said, is very essential, and see how it looks like. That I agree totally with you saying that when you have not even tasted candy, how do you look for it? It seemed to be something in the books. But I will tell you one thing about that is, all of you do have an experience of that candy. Otherwise, whatever I said must be something which will happen in the future, who knows, may or may not know. All of you have a deep experience of being what it looks like to being restful. I'll give you a scenario. You look at Himalayas or you look at a grand mountain, for a few moments, there is, all desires are kept aside, all tasks are kept aside, all the conclusions that one has about oneself is put aside. You're just in the moment. You're just in the moment. And that has brought a lot of peace and joy into your life. And the moment just goes away. There is always another, what is the next stop that you're going to do in this trip? So the mountain just vanishes, you go on to doing something or the other. So everybody knows that there is a deeper element to me, and this is a possibility to have those precious moments in life where I'm looking at myself beyond my tasks, aspirations, desires, career goals, whatnot, everything else. So there, everyone has tasted the candy. Now, why only taste the candy here and there? Why not have that candy as a part and parcel of your life? So that's the focus that I was trying to bring in. Yeah. And you have shared your thoughts on Karma Yoga. Yes, that's valid, very much valid. Yes. All right. We'll come back for more discussions. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Please take